Okay, well, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. So today's session is going to be all modifications for my broken foot, starting with sitting on a block so I can sit up nice and tall and tucking a blanket underneath the boot. So find a comfortable seated position, whatever that means for you. Allow yourself a moment to let go of wherever you were before class. That's the goal. So we're taking that time, lifting through the crown of the head, letting the shoulders hang down, and just resting the hands in a comfortable position, whatever that means for you. You can drop the chin towards the chest if it feels good, giving a little bit of release through the neck. And we just want to feel our connection to our breath. So we can think about how our belly is going to expand fully as we inhale. And then as we exhale, the navel draws towards the spine. Or we can even use a count of 4 to help extend the breath. So bringing that new energy and all that oxygen into the body and then carrying that throughout our practice. So let's take a moment together and just breathe. With each exhale, let those shoulders hang down a little bit more. Release the space between the eyes and soften through the jaw. Maybe think about lifting through the spine a little bit more, bringing that space back to the vertebrae. And just letting the thoughts pass by, knowing it's completely normal for the mind to wander, and we just want to let go. Two more deep breaths. Really try to release any tension you might feel. And then on the next inhale, we'll lift the arms up. Big reach, maybe looking up. Exhale, palms together, and then hands down to the heart. Drop your chin, take a deep breath, squeeze the palms together, activating through the chest. Keeping that tension between the palms, lift up, and then release down. Again, we're going to lift up. We're going to repeat. So bring those palms together and then down to the heart. And I really want you to think about pushing through the palms. As we push through every inch of the palm, we can actually fully activate every part of the chest. So start to feel the chest building tension, using those muscles to squeeze, and then we're going to lift up and then really release down. We'll start with a gentle twist today. So bringing the left hand to the right knee or thigh. That right hand is going to be pointing to the side direction. Remember, the goal in our twist is to lift and lengthen and then turn and look to the side or over the shoulder if it feels good. With every twist, we want to focus more on the lift than on that turn so that we don't collapse through the spine. Few more nice deep breaths. Relax the shoulders down. Lift through the crown of the head a little bit more. And then ease off, come back to center, and then across to the other side. So left hand to the knee or the thigh. Right hand to the knee or thigh, and then left hand to the side. Lift and lengthen, turn and twist, and only look over the shoulder if it feels good. Throughout our entire session, I want you to listen to your body. 70% is kind of the golden rule. Our body will naturally open, so we don't want to push past that point. One more nice deep breath here. And then come back to center. Sit up nice and tall. And then we'll go into a side body stretch. So we'll bring that right hand to the side. Left arm comes overhead. Bending into the elbow of the right arm. Check in on the left. We want extension from the fingers all the way down through the ribs to the hip. You can look down if you feel any sort of tension in the neck. And if you want that little bit of a twist, you can look up towards the sky. But remember, choose what feels good. 2 more breaths. And we always come up on an inhale. So inhale, we'll lift up both arms. Exhale, we'll drop the left arm and then lean into it so that the right arm is extended overhead, palm facing the ground. Again, you have those options, looking neutral, looking down towards the earth, or looking up towards the sky. Completely up to you. Just make sure you have that length through the right arm, down the ribs to the hip. Both sit bones are connected to the mat, block, or blanket. 2 more breaths. And then again, we inhale and come up. Reach through both arms. Find a nice even stretch. And then relax down. Okay, a little bit of a shoulder opener here. We're going to take one arm overhead, bending, and then the other arm behind you. This is a great opportunity to use a strap. So you could take this strap and let it hang behind and then grab it with your bottom hand. Then you can kind of shimmy the hands together to get a little bit more here. The goal is to think about squeezing the shoulder blades together. You'll get a nice tricep stretch here, nice shoulder stretch, but again, don't push too far. Eventually, the body will naturally open. We'll take 2 more deep breaths here. And then we'll release. So release that strap, reach the arms out, and then take one arm underneath, maybe that left arm, and just squeeze around, open up through those shoulder blades, pull them apart, big stretch, and then release. And we're going to switch arms. So again, taking that strap if you'd like, dropping it behind you. With that one arm, drop it back and then take the other arm back and behind you. See if you can find that strap. Then you can kind of shimmy the hands together if you'd like, kind of using that strap to get them a little bit closer. Try to keep the shoulders down here. That's the hard part. We're thinking about drawing our elbow closer towards our head. The other one goes closer towards our ribs. And we want to breathe. So 3 more breaths here. We'll really get into it. Last deep breath. And then release. Release that strap. Release the arms. Stretch out first. And then right arm underneath this time. Big hug. Big stretch through those shoulder blades. Open up. And then this time when we open up, we're going to bring those fingertips down behind us, point them back, hands on the floor, fingertips, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest, and then drop the chin towards the chest. Deep breaths no matter where we are. As soon as we enter into any pose, we want to think, how's our breath? If it becomes shortened, we want to immediately ease off. Good, release. Roll those shoulders back. Sit up nice and tall for 1 breath. Notice how the upper body feels. And now, let's stretch out those legs. Take a moment, moving slow. We're going to turn to the side. And we're going to give ourselves maybe a little massage or shake the legs out or curl the toes and point them. With the boot, I've got to put that blanket underneath for that little bit of support. So take that moment. A good little squeeze down the legs, back, up, and forth, really gets the energy flowing. You could even do a little bit of a tap on the outside and then up the inside. This really does help get energy flowing. Or you could shake them. Or you can curl the toes and point them. Whatever feels good. Okay. So let's do one traditional forward fold before we spread those legs wide. So hips, knees, and ankles are in alignment. You can tuck a blanket underneath the knees to adjust for a boot, or you can do that to focus on your lower back. A great option. Curl back your toes so you have a nice solid base to lift out of. Remember, everything is about a straight spine. We're going to lift on the inhale. We draw the arms up. And then we think about hinging forward from the hips. So reach the arms out and then just let them come down. So maybe they're at the knees or the shins. We don't have to go for the feet. Avoid the rounding. When we round, we lose that stretch through the lower back. So nice flat back. And think about just tilting forward from the hips. Few more breaths here. Just notice any tension you might have, and we're going to start to work on that here. So inhale, we're going to come up. We're going to roll those shoulders back, and we're going to spread the legs wide. So separating, nice and wide, adjusting with a blanket on one side if you need. You can even stick a block to kind of even it out on the other side. Lift up nice and tall. You can curl your toes here, you can point them. This has never been my strong suit, is splits. So I'm just going to sit up nice and tall and I'm going to fold a little tiny bit. If you can fold more, feel free. The goal is to open up through the legs and the hips in a new way. So think about your breath. Maybe you drop the chin towards the chest a little bit. And just breathe deeply here. Think about hinging the torso from your hips. And then we're going to slowly come up a little bit and we're going to walk the hands over to one side. So reach across to one leg. Again, feeling that nice stretch through the side body. You can reach for your foot if that feels good. And then we'll come back, lifting up, and we'll bring those arms across to the other side. So reaching across, nice stretch through the side body. One more breath here. And then release. Come up. Back to center one more time. Even it out. So lift up nice and tall and then fold forward if it feels good. A little bit can go a long way in terms of how we feel that rotation in our hips, that opening through the body. All right. Next inhale, we'll come up. And then we'll bring the legs together. So evening out from side to side. Again, you can use a blanket underneath the knees or not, completely up to you. Lift up nice and tall and then inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward and then relax those arms down. Deep breaths. You can drop the chin slightly, but think about leading with your heart. So your chest and your heart is helping lead or shine a light directly forward, getting that great stretch through the lower back. And release. Coming up. We're going to stretch the right leg out and bend the left. So bring that left foot up. One fist distance between your ankle and your right leg so that we have good alignment, or cross it over to the other side. Okay? No matter where you are, both sit bones connected. Lift and lengthen here. Then right hand to the or elbow to the knee, and then turn and twist. So left hand is behind you. Fingertips are about 45 degrees. This lets both shoulders hang down. Remember, lift and lengthen, then turn. Look over the shoulder if it feels good. Couple of more breaths. And then we'll release. We'll take the arms across, counter stretch. Nice twist to the other side. And then back to center. This time stretching out that left leg. Right leg comes up. Again, fist distance or cross it over if you can. Lift and lengthen. Nice and tall first and foremost. Left hand or inside of the elbow to the knee. And then right hands by the hips, fingertips pointing diagonal. Drop those shoulders down, lift and lengthen through the crown of the head, and then turn and maybe look over the shoulder. These are always a great opportunity to check in on your breath. Can you feel your abdomen expand into your thighs? Two more breaths. And then we'll ease off. So we come back, across, other side, gentle counter twist. You can look neutral, over the shoulder a little, whatever feels good. And release. Okay. Another forward fold. Let's notice the difference. So hips, knees, and ankles in alignment. You can always take that second and move the thighs to find the sit bones. Always a good idea. Lift and lengthen again. Arms up on the inhale. Exhale, fold from the hips. Reaching out. Noticing all the change that's happened in your body. Relax the head. Think about folding from the hips so that lower back is opening. You might feel a stretch through the hamstrings. And then release. Inhale, come up. Let's come and lay on our backs. So we'll take everything to the side, scooting forward, and then coming down nice and slow. Take a moment, lift the hips, nice flat back. Hips, knees, and ankles are in alignment. There is the option to take the feet out to the side of the mat and knees in towards the center if you're not in a boot. But remember, alignment is key. So we want to take this opportunity, check in on our chin. It should be slightly lifted to the sky, allowing our neck to be in a neutral position. And we're going to take a moment to take a few breaths. So maybe you have your hands on your belly. Maybe the palms are to the sky, whatever feels good. But allow the body to soften and relax. Take a few more breaths. Release the space between your eyes. Let the shoulders fall a little bit closer to the earth. Wonderful. We'll start by drawing those arms down next to our body so the palms are by our hips. We're going to press into the palms and shoulders. And bring our knees to our chest and then lift the toes to the sky. Nice bend through the knees. Try to relax the back so that it's on the mat. Remembering that you do need to engage the core to bring those feet up to the sky. It's great to reverse blood flow, bringing it back down towards our heart. It's also a great exercise for our core. You could always do this against a wall to make it a fully passive or yin version. We're going to take a couple of more breaths here. And then release. Bend the knees. Draw them in towards the chest. Hug them in nice and tight. Maybe you rock side to side or you circle, massaging that lower back. And then you rock or circle again, other direction for that circle. And then draw them in tight for a big squeeze. Let the feet hit the ground for a moment. Make sure you have a great alignment through the spine and that chin is lifting to the sky. Arms next to the body, press into the palms and shoulders. We have one more option. Once we lift our legs up so that the knees are over the hips and the legs are straight, if you're finding it hard to keep your lower back close to the mat, lift your hips, put the feet back down, and bring your hands a little bit underneath your hips and your butt. This will help. Elbows are out wide, and then lift the knees over the hips. From here, we're going to bicycle one leg and then the other. Boot's not going to keep us down from doing some ab work, so we're going to extend one leg nice and long, heel kind of hovers over the ground, and then back to that tabletop. Then the other one, nice and long, and back. Few circles back and forth. Remember, the slower you move, the closer your heel is towards the ground, the more you're going to get out of this movement. So I encourage you to move nice and slow. Do a few more rounds. Remember to breathe. We'll complete this round both sides. And then release. If the feet hit the ground, lift the hips and knees to chest. Hug them in tight. Rock or circle. Make sure to give yourself that nice relaxing feeling here. Relaxed upper body. And then release. Let your feet hit the ground. We're going to come into figure fours. So here, keeping that right foot on the ground, lift the left leg up and bring the ankle across to the knee. Bringing that left knee towards the front of your mat, you can keep your right foot on the ground or your good foot, or you can lift up. Remember, the option is there to have your hands behind the knee or your strap, and you could keep your shin parallel to the ground or relax the leg. The third option is straightening the leg so that the heel goes towards the sky, getting a stretch behind the knee. Completely up to you. The biggest requirement is relaxing through the upper body. Remembering, if you've lifted your right leg up to pull the knee towards your chest, you're still pressing that left knee towards the front of your mat. Nice deep breaths. If the leg is straightened, we'll start by bending. Then we'll let the foot hit the ground. And then everyone extends that left leg up and then lets it hit the ground. Okay, we're going to go into the other side, remembering if we have a boot on, we want to take that foot up off the ground right away so there's not weight on it. So right ankle comes across to the knee and then lift the left leg if it feels good. Remember, the goal is right knee towards that front corner of the mat. You can relax the left leg, you could kick it up towards the sky, or have the shin parallel. And do what feels best. Focus on drawing that left knee towards your chest and right knee pushes to the front of the mat. Check in on your chin. Is it still lifted to the sky? Is the upper body relaxed fully? If you have your hands behind your knee and your upper body can't relax, I encourage you to grab a strap. That will help allow the shoulders to get closer to the mat. Everything can relax down. A few more breaths. If that left leg is up, we'll drop it. We'll let the foot hit the ground. Immediately take that right leg up and out. Let's bring both knees into the chest. Even it out, side to side. Hug it in nice and tight. And then let the feet hit the floor and stretch the legs out long right away. Find a big stretch through the legs and reach the arms overhead. So you have a full stretch through the abs and the hips. The whole front of the body is nice and open here. Relax. We're going to walk our legs over to the right side. And if you can cross that right leg over the left, ankle to ankle, or take the foot to the ground, and then reach the arms over towards the right side. We can take the right hand to the left wrist. The goal is to get a nice stretch through the side body here, looking like a banana or a crescent moon. Two more deep breaths here. Find that length through the ribs. And then we'll release. Relax the arms, unwrap the legs, and then bring everything over to the left side. This time, left ankle crosses over the right, and then the arms go to the left. The left hand reaching for the right wrist, just so we have that more length through the right arm. And a great stretch through the side body. Taking a few more breaths. We'll release. Come back to center. Find that nice long position with a big stretch for a second first. And then lift the knees one at a time. Then knees to chest. Hug them in tight. And we're going to come into a butterfly stretch. So we can always use blocks or blankets for our knees. We're going to bring the feet kind of together, totally together if you don't have a boot on. And then let the knees open out to the side. Try to find a level position with your hips. You can have your hands on your hips, you could have your palms to the sky, or you could mirror the position of the arms or of the legs with the arms overhead. But choose what feels good. Play around with your position, take a few breaths. And then settle in for a moment, allowing the hips to open from side to side. It's natural for the mind to wander whenever we hold a pose. Just bring the focus or attention back to your body and your breath. Where can you release tension? Can you feel that breath as you inhale and fill the belly? And then it just naturally falls towards the spine as you exhale. We'll take a few more breaths here. And then we'll bring the knees together. You can take the hands to the outsides of the thighs and kind of assist if that helps. And then bring the knees towards the chest again. Hug them in nice and tight. And then release. Coming into our final twists, we have two options for the arms, like a T with the palms and shoulders into the mat, or arms bent 90 degrees, palms facing the sky. Completely up to you. You can enter into your favorite twist or join me in lifting the hips and moving them to one side. Knees come to the chest, and then we let them hang across to the other side. So the goal is to stack knees, hips, and ankles. Our opposite shoulder peels up off the mat and our head can be neutral, or we can turn and look to the other side, following the cues from our body with what feels best. Taking a few more breaths. Check in, hips, knees, ankles all stacked. Nice straight spine. And then release. Relax everything. Come back to center. Lift the hips, knees to chest, just to even everything out. And then feet back to the floor. Lift your hips and move them to the other side. Knees to chest and across. Stacking hips, knees, and ankles. Opposite shoulder peels up. Turning and looking only if it feels good. Just allowing gravity to aid and assist in opening up through the chest as we twist. Can always stack a blanket or a block between the knees to help with the hips being in line. And then we'll release. Come back to center. Realign your position, knees to chest. Really give them a big squeeze now. Rocking or circling again before we enter into our final resting pose. So we'll release the feet. We'll stretch those legs out long. The option is there, boot or no boot, to stack a blanket underneath the knees. Helps with relaxing the lower back. We want at least hips, knees, and ankles in alignment, and let the feet go to the side that little bit. Or you can have them wider, completely up to you. Hands on the belly or palms to the sky, lots of space between the arms and the side of your body. But wherever you are, let everything rest and relax. close the eyes. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. See if you can soften the face. Relax the eyes and the jaw. The shoulders will hang a little bit closer to the mat. Maybe your lower back gets closer as well. And the limbs just feel heavy into the earth. And again, we know it's natural for our mind to wander. We just let those thoughts pass by, choosing not to dwell on them or give them more attention, but to focus on the space between them. Enjoying the silence and stillness in our homes. Choosing to focus on relaxation, rest, renewal of our bodies, letting that energy reabsorb. On your last 2 breaths, let out a sigh, a release, full relaxation. And then wiggle the fingers, maybe the toes, roll the wrists, and at least the good ankle. Draw the legs together and reach the arms overhead. Big stretch through the whole body. And then release. Lift one knee and then the other. Again, we'll lift the hips, moving them to one side so we can roll over to the other. Pausing there as long as feels good. And then we'll slowly push up with that top arm. Gentle push. And then into a comfortable seated position. Whatever that means for you. Take a moment. Notice the change in your body. See if you can lift up nice and tall to carry that throughout your day. And then on the next inhale, we'll do a big lift. Hands together on the exhale, down to the heart. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed our practice. Namaste.